Hello, and welcome. I decided to do a late night stream tonight for no reason other than my own entertainment. I don't really care how many people join live because it will be reposted, of course. And the channel, the algorithm is such that um, if I don't, start posting like I used to, like all the time, it's going to kick me to the bottom of the list. So, in order to build this channel back, I have to get going. I have to start making content. And I do so much like thinking about it. I'll be like, well, I'll probably do a video on the electoral college on like Monday, and then Monday rolls around and it doesn't happen. So I'm like, what the heck? I'm just gonna do one. I may also just talk about other random things, like the fact that there's a possible tropical storm coming here in Florida. So we'll talk about that for a bit. I'm also trying to get my microphone working properly. There was a time when I used to put the microphone here. Yes, exactly. There we go. That's exactly how I wanted it. Perfecto. All right. I think the gain, yeah, we don't want the gain up too high. Okay, just a little housekeeping. So I wanted to do, this stream isn't going to go forever. It's going to be very short. I'm going to talk about where we stand right now at the Electoral College. I wanted it to be documented that this is where I think we are, so that once the fall comes and I say, see, I told you that this state would go this way, I can hearken back to this stream. One thing I've been starting to get a little bit irritated by is listening to what is his name? Lichtman? Is his name Lichtman? And he's the guy who always has all these predictions all the time, like about how things are going to go. And it's always the same thing with him, It's like the Democrats going to win no matter what. Like he has these 12 keys, right? The 12 keys. But a couple of weeks ago, he was saying, if I'm not mistaken, I believe a couple of weeks ago, he was saying that Biden should stay in and the Democrats would be better off with Biden in. And then all of a sudden, they kick Biden out, Kamala comes in, and he's just talking about what a great chance the Democrats have now and how amazing they are. Now all the keys are lining up for them. So I don't know. I'm not a fan of Lichtman. But okay, let's see if we can get let's see if we can get the screen I want up here. Yes, there we go. Perfect. Okay. Now, is it going to let me do? Okay, yeah. This is exactly how I want it. Perfect. Okay. So this is how it stands right now, or at least how it's purported to stand right now. 270 to win. You can go down here and you can pick whatever you want. Like this is the Fox News. This is where Fox News has things right now. Larry Sabato, don't trust him. Cook Political Report has always been very reputable. But I wanted to talk about the Electoral College and where we are, and sort of in relation to Kamala getting chosen as well, because I think that is sort of an important part of all this. Where the map has really changed now. Oh, look, this is Cook Political Report as of July 9th. Okay, fine. But I just wanted to discuss some of the states, some of the important states that I think we should be focusing on. I do think this is appropriate. Like this is from July 9th, by the way, though. So this probably has changed if you look at the others. Let's go to 538. Let's see here. Usually odds. So I'm trying to find one that I kind of like, that I could work with. Larry Sabato. I don't like using Larry Sabato's. He's the same as Lichtman. Let's just go off of the 2020 actual, okay? and then we'll work from there. So I think there are a few states that I'm almost positive that are going to shift back to Trump. Now, when I say almost positive, I was a lot more positive a couple weeks ago because things have changed a lot. But let's go down to Georgia. Georgia is the key state that Trump desperately needs. If he doesn't get Georgia, then I mean, there's no point. And what's happening here is that Kamala, I'm going to change my mind. I'm going back to these ones. What Kamala has done, because here's how the race sort of stood when Biden got yanked. Okay. What Kamala has done is she's taken Georgia and put it back into the toss-up category. She's taken Arizona and put it back into toss-up. And Michigan, which was, they have it light blue, they have it leaning Democrat right now. I think this is sort of about where we're at. Now, before Kamala jumped out, we were looking at a map that looked like this, where all Trump really needed was one of these blue wall states, Pennsylvania, Michigan, Wisconsin, or Minnesota. One of them. One of these is all he needs. See, he's got 287. Pennsylvania, 287. If he takes Michigan, 283. If he takes Wisconsin, 278. So he had a lot to work with. I think what's happened now is, these states, these Rust Belt states have gone back to being swing states, which they kind of always been. But most importantly, these three, Nevada, Arizona, and Georgia, have gone back to being toss-ups. So I think as it stands right now, I think I would put Georgia as lean. I think, there are still a lot of polls where Trump is leading there. I would put Arizona as lean, and I would put Nevada as lean. But these three here are still huge toss-ups. And what Kamala has done, though, is she has made the Democrats more competitive now in Georgia, Arizona, and Nevada. But these three states, I actually believe she has more of a vulnerability in. And Biden, for whatever reason, had, I don't know if it was some kind of connection with the voters there. I have no idea. But for some reason, Biden was able to get lots of support in these three states here. I don't know how. Maybe it's the Scranton thing he was playing to. I think he's always been popular in Pennsylvania. And so, you're looking at three states where, he has the ability to get support in those blue collar kind of traditional Rust Belt neighborhoods, precincts. And I think Kamala is probably going to struggle a little bit more in those areas. So look, this is where I see it right now. I still think that Trump is leading, but not by a lot, in Georgia, Arizona, and Nevada. I think Wisconsin, Michigan, and Pennsylvania are still toss-ups. And we'll have to look at some of the polling and how it goes the next few days, the next few weeks. But I think it is very possible, if not likely, that Georgia goes back into toss-up and that Arizona goes back into toss-up. For one reason or another, Nevada seems to be a state where Trump is doing better than he probably should be doing. I don't know why. Maybe it's the tax on tip stuff. I really don't know. It's odd because even in 2016, Trump lost Nevada. So if we're being honest, this is probably what we're looking at after the convention, because usually the convention comes around, Democrat convention, and it's usually good. It usually gives them a little bit of a boost. Trump probably should have gotten a boost out of his convention. He didn't, for reasons that I explained in my last stream, I just think the speech wasn't what the doctor ordered. I mean, obviously the first 15 minutes of it were good, but the rest of it wasn't. It wasn't what was needed. It wasn't. It wasn't the speech that a convention that is broadcast to the whole country calls for. So he didn't really do as good of a job as I thought he would do there. And thus I think he didn't get as good of a bump as I think he probably should have as well. So we'll see how the next couple of weeks go, but I think that's the map we're going to be looking at over the next couple of weeks, mainly because of the Democrat convention, and there will also be a VP pick chosen over the next couple of days, I'm sure, and we'll see how that goes. That can also boost enthusiasm. That can also help. But we're looking at a very, very different race now than we were when it was Trump versus Biden. It's a very, very different situation now. And so I think it's a very fluid situation. It's a very fluid election now. You're looking at the same type of numbers that maybe we were going into 2016 with. Mind you, going into 2016, Trump was losing, remember? So I think that's where we're at. Now, in terms of if you're Trump, what is the path? And then if you're Kamala, what is the path? So let me first do what I think Kamala's path would be. And to be honest with you, I don't think it's very complicated. I think it has to do with just holding Biden's numbers, especially in these two states. Georgia, see, look, if Georgia and Arizona go blue, they're at 253. Now, let's say that Trump does flip Nevada. Okay, that sets them back 6. So they'd be on the cusp of 270 if they had Nevada, because if Nevada goes blue, they're 259. They have one of these left. If Trump flips Nevada, then they can still do it with Pennsylvania, I believe. Let me check here. Yes, you'll see Pennsylvania gets them there. So I think that is the strategy: Pennsylvania, Georgia, Arizona. And if Kamala were a smart candidate, like they're hailing her to be, that's basically where I would go. I would fly Pennsylvania, Georgia, Arizona, Pennsylvania, Georgia, Arizona, just keep doing it all over and over again with a couple of these mixed in. So let's take these off the map again. Let's put them as toss up. If you're Trump, what is your strategy? Well, if you're Trump, I think you can do Georgia, Arizona, and one of these. It doesn't need to be Pennsylvania. See, with the Democrats, with Harris, it needs to be Georgia, Arizona, and if they're going to lose Nevada, it's got to be Pennsylvania. It can't be just one of these because Wisconsin doesn't get them there. And I feel as though Michigan is probably the best bet. So, you take back Arizona and Georgia, keep doing well in Nevada, and then tag on Michigan, and you're president again. So that's my strategy if I'm him. I'm picking one of these states because what tends to happen, honestly, is if you win one of these states, the other two are going with you. So that's, if Trump is to win, that's what the numbers will look like. Basically, an inverse of what we saw in 2020. So if you're winning Michigan, odds are you're winning Wisconsin. Although the margins are so narrow now that it's possible to win one and lose the other. It is very possible for that. So look, we'll see. We'll see what they say. But we're gonna learn a lot over the next couple of weeks. As I say, I think we have Georgia. Let's put Georgia in toss up. Let's put Arizona. I don't know why. I just think they're gonna win Nevada. Trump, that is. And then let's takes forever to put it back in the toss up when you got the lean option on. Okay, so that's it. Now, Georgia, honestly, I personally think Georgia is going to be the toughest one for Trump, and a lot of it has to do with the demographics in Georgia. What's going on in Atlanta is that just a lot of people are moving there. A lot of young people are moving there. A lot of people from all over the country are moving there, from places that are typically more liberal and more leftist than Georgia. So you're seeing Georgia becoming a state that is shifting rapidly. Now, interestingly enough, Florida is doing the exact opposite. Like there was a time, and I mean, I don't need to explain this to a lot of people, but there was a time when Georgia was the Republican state and Florida was the toss-up state. But that's kind of switched now, and Georgia has sort of become the new Florida. The good thing for the Republicans is that Florida obviously has almost twice as many electoral votes. So it's sort of better to have Florida in the solid red column and have Georgia as a toss-up. But it's just a tough state. And, I was listening to Mark Halperin's two-way podcast, and he had Newt Gingrich on, and he had some other people on, and Joe Scarborough on as well. I mean, Joe Scarborough, whatever. But he was talking about how there's something about Georgia. They just don't like Trump for some reason. Now, of course, they voted for Trump in 2016. We know that. But there's just something about it there. They don't like Trump. So, what are the reasons for that? As I say, I think a lot of it has to do with demographics. But Trump is dealing with Georgia, a state where, for sort of reasons unbeknownst to us, the voters there just do not take to him like they do in Florida or elsewhere. And you're also dealing with Arizona, a state where Trump has a lot of self-inflicted wounds. I mean, think about how the McCain issue played against him in 2020. Think too, like it's very possible that if Trump was just, I don't want to say a normal candidate, if Trump was Trump without the fervent anti-John McCain comments that he just seemed like he needed to make all the time, Arizona might have gone Republican. Now, that wouldn't have won him the election, but it just kind of shows, I mean, going into 2024, it may very well be the election. 11 electoral votes. Think it could be a scenario we didn't think of where, let's say Trump holds on to Georgia and he, let's say, doesn't manage to get Nevada, but he gets one, like Michigan. Well, what happens then if he loses Arizona? Well, now you're behind the eight ball again, because these two states can go blue and it's over. So, Arizona, I think if there ever is like a red wall, even though they're not geographically next to each other, I feel like Arizona and Georgia, they just need to be one. So in order for Trump to even have a chance. So honestly, I think what a lot of people on the right maybe have not internalized yet or have not realized yet is that Trump is the underdog again. 3 weeks ago, when Biden was struggling, post debate, and those weeks where there was a lot of turmoil in the Democratic Party, Trump was the favorite to win, and the poly market odds have not really caught up with that. I don't know what they're at now. Maybe we can check here, but let's see. I haven't checked it lately, so let's just see where we are here. $53.44. This number was at like 70% or something for Trump like 3 weeks ago. I don't know if is there a way you can go back and look? I'm not even sure. Oh yeah, here we go. So the high watermark was July 15th, 71% for Trump. That's come down to 53. Now, having said all that, those are still good numbers for Trump. Those are still really good numbers. And look, we've got the same sort of map that we were just talking about, with Wisconsin being the outlier there. Pennsylvania. People seem to think that Pennsylvania will go blue easier than Michigan. I'm not sure how true that is, but we'll see. We'll see. Oh, I guess is it not showing? Hold on a second. Oh, is it because it opened a new one? Hold on a second here. There we go. So yeah, that's what you're looking at here. So 53-44, it's not terrible for Trump. I mean, but Kamala has definitely closed the gap. Remember, there was a point in time pretty recently that there was a lot of talk about the Republicans winning Virginia. So, and that, look, the betting odds now are 77% for Democrats to win Virginia. So things have changed a lot in the last 2 weeks. And I think it may be worth talking about whether or not there needs to be personnel changes in the Trump campaign. Like, there needs to be better messaging. And I'm not even talking about when he was on the Black journalists event, because I think that was just sort of, there was such an overreaction from the media about that. I really don't think that hurt him all that much. If anything, I think appearances like that help him in a way, because you are kind of consolidating your base and reminding them. A lot of people, and I know this is not going to be the way he's going to win, but I think a lot of people are sort of missing the magic of 2016, if you will. And they're kind of remembering the Trump of 2016. And I guess this is a good time to discuss this now anyway. I think there's this feeling out there, or there's this sort of consensus, or this this sentiment that the way Trump won in 2016 was simply Hillary Clinton hatred. Now, yes, there was a lot of that, but people forget one of the appeals that he had to voters was that he was so unfiltered and he was so off the cuff, and that he was so not like any politician they'd ever seen before. And if you watch him at that event on whatever it was, Thursday or Friday, no, I guess today's Friday. When was that? Wednesday. If you watch him at that event, you're reminded of how things were in 2016. He was an unscripted candidate. He was a controversial candidate, but the controversy wasn't so much a controversy among the electorate. It was more of a controversy among the media and among the talking heads who thought like he was destroying himself, or that he was in desperate need of like a new PR machine or something. And people just forget that part of the reason he was so appealing, especially in these states that we're talking about, was that he was seen, rightfully so, as a disruptor and someone who's just willing to say things that are just like a lot of people just will not say. So I think we're going to start to see maybe some more instances where we have like CNN exploding for a whole week about how it's over for him. But we'll see. I don't know. We'll see how it goes. So again, I don't want to do a very long stream because I want to repost and hopefully get some views afterwards. But not being able to sleep, looking at like hurricane models, I guess. And I thought, well, I might as well do one more recording. The algorithm, as I say, the algorithm won't trigger until I start doing like 20, 30 of them or whatever. So we'll see. It's on X as well. I'm taking a break from Twitter/X, but I hit the button for it to stream to Twitter, which is where I get a lot of my action. But we'll see. If you're on YouTube, like, subscribe, and the rest of it. That's about it. I mean, I just wanted to talk briefly about the Electoral College and where we stand right now with it. And obviously, I will be updating that as we go along. So I won't do it like once a week or anything, but I'll be updating it. So, and of course, I hope to do many more live streams. When we find out who the VP pick is, I will be sure to do a stream about that, because there will be a lot of commentary on it, and there will be a lot of there will certainly be a lot of reaction. I was going to hop on and do live reaction to the event with the Black journalists, but I mean, it was too fresh, and my reaction to it probably would have been a little bit too extreme. So it's probably a good thing that I didn't stream that day. But we're going to be doing Electoral College updates. I will do my best to stream when the news comes out. I am hearing, supposedly, it's supposed to be Monday when Kamala announces her pick. But we'll have to wait and see. We'll have to wait and see about that. So I will plan, hopefully, on Monday to do some sort of reaction to it. Supposedly, it's going to be Shapiro from Pennsylvania. But there's also been some controversy about Shapiro, and he, I think it was a sexual assault or something. I haven't read too much into that, but that's what I've heard. That's the rumor. So the rumor is that she's going to announce Monday, and the rumor is that Shapiro's kind of not a big favorite anymore because of some things that have come out. I have always thought that Mark Kelly is the best choice for her. And I mean, look, let's go. We can go back to Electoral College if you want. If Mark Kelly solidifies Arizona for Kamala, I mean, it's almost game over, isn't it? Because then that means Trump has to win Georgia, Nevada, and then 2 more of the Rust Belt swing states. And that's a very, very tough task. Mind you, as I say, usually if you win one of those, you're probably going to win all 3. It's very rare, and this would actually be a good exercise to go back and look at. Has there been any candidate run for president who has won one of those 3 or 2 of those 3? Like I'm trying to think now. Biden won all 3. Trump won all 3. Obama won all 3 twice. Bush lost all 3 twice. You'd have to go back to the 90s to find somebody who has like won Michigan and lost Pennsylvania, or, so it's very difficult to pick off just one of those states. Usually if you pick off one, you're going to win all of them. So we'll see. And that's why I think that if you're going to win, you need to win Arizona, especially if you're Trump. You need to win Arizona. So, if I were advising Kamala, I would tell her to pick Mark Kelly. He's very popular. He's very moderate. He's someone who I think voters would probably, I'm not talking about moderate voters, would probably be fine with him taking over if anything were to happen. Mind you, I don't think that's top of mind anymore because, we're not dealing with Joe Biden. It's Kamala now. So people aren't really like thinking about who's going to be a heartbeat away from the presidency anymore. But so that's all for tonight. I'm tracking the storm still and trying to figure out what's going on. And so hopefully that's not too serious. I think it'll be fine. I'm going to keep posting, as I say. I will do a live stream on Monday. Hopefully the announcement is on Monday or maybe on Sunday. I doubt they would do it on Sunday. I think they'd like to do it once the week begins, because they'll probably get more press coverage. But they have to do so soon, because I don't know when is the convention. Let me just check here. See, when is the convention? August 19th. Oh, they have some time. I'm pretty sure they want to have a rollout and be ready for it. We will be ready for the announcement, and I will stream my reaction to it, and I will try and keep streaming more and more. So all people who have been with me on this channel for a long time, thank you. To any newcomers, please like, subscribe, comment. I'm going to be posting a lot of content, and I'm bringing back some of the old content that was on the channel, but it had been made private. So you can go back and watch it if you want to relive the oldies, but a lot of it is just like pre-2020 election stuff. If only we had known what was coming afterwards. But so like, subscribe, comment. Thank you very much. I will hopefully see you on Monday for a commentary on the vice presidential choice. So I will see you then.